We explain how this beautiful trending gather dress with side gathers was made. So if it looks like something you like, subscribe and like this video. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Adiola. So I have my dress length, so I'll be using the whole length of my paper, which is 36 inches. So I'm going to exhaust all of this. So we're going to be drafting a basic bodice pattern to achieve this. So my armhole is my first measurement, which is 7.5 inches. So you divide your bust by 6, then you add 1.5. And for my bust, I have 10.5, my under bust 13.5, my waist 16, and my hip 24 inches. So I'll rule it out for us to see properly. So I'll label my pattern. So this is my hip, my waist, my under bust, my bust, and my chest line, which is also known as my armhole line. My shoulder is 14 inches, so I divided it by 2, and I have 7 inches. So I'll repeat the same thing on my chest line, then I'll mark a straight line. So this part is not needed, it's just a guide to get what I need because it's an off-shoulder dress. For my neck, I used 3.5 by 3.5 inches for the depth and the width. Then I connected that. Then I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So next is my armhole. So I have 6.5 inches left. I divided it by 2. I have 3.25 inches. Then I'll come in by ½ inch and connect all the points together. My next measurement is my bust span. So mine is 8 inches. If I divide it by 2, I have 4 inches. Then I'll take that from my bust line to my hip. So you can also take that all the way to your dress length. I'll take ½ inch on my under bust on both sides. Then on my hip line, I decided to come up by 2 inches. Then I'll connect all the 3 lines together. You can as well come down by 1 inch from your bust, but I took mine at my bust line. I'll take my bust measurement. So my bust is 36 inches. Once I divide that, I'll have 9 inches, then 1 inch allowance. So my next measurement is my under bust, which is 29.5 inches. So I'll have 7.3 inches for that. Then 1 inch that I took earlier, I have to replace it, then 1 inch allowance. Then on my waist measurements, my waist is 30 by 4, that will give me 7.5. Then my 1 inch that and 1 inch allowance. Then this 1 inch can be taken on your fabric likewise, but I want to take mine on my pattern. So my hip is next, which is 40, so that will give me 10 inches on my hip line. So no need for that allowance here. So I'll just take my 1 inch allowance. Then I'll repeat what I have on my hip on my dress length. I'll connect my bust, under bust, waist, and hip now. You can use your armhole curve to bring out a shape, but it doesn't matter on the hip because it requires slash and spread method. The next thing I'll work on is the side gathers. The dress gather is on the waistline, so this is by choice. So you might want to come down a bit more, like 2 to 3 inches for the side gathers, but I'm going to maintain mine on the waist. So from the waist, you can take 4 to 4.5 inches downward. So if you come down further, it might not look too pretty after sewing. Before that, I'll take my over bust tightening from my bust line. So I'll take like 1.5 inches. This totally depends on how covered you want your boobs. So the higher you go, the more covered your breasts. I'll repeat my 4 inches bust span measurement. I'll connect it to my 1.5 inches line and take ½ inch on both sides. But this is according to your bust. For a very busty person, you can use 0.75 inches on both sides. So this is the point where my new line starts now. I will connect the ½ inch on both sides back to my bust point. This is what I'm working with now. So the chest line is not needed. For the opening, you can decide to take 0.5 inches, which is okay. But please, whatever you do, don't extend beyond 1 inch. So you can also take 0.75 inches. So when you open it, you have 1.5 inches. Then for the 1 inch, you have 2 inches. Then I'll stick to 0.75 inches. The opening extended to the under bust area. So from my bust line, I'm going to mark 0.5 inches first and see. So by the time I open it up, I'll have 1 inch opening. So on my bust line, this is how it will look like. So this is the line I'll be maintaining. Back to my 4 inches for the side gathers. I'll repeat the 4 inches on my dart leg and connect it to the waistline. So from this dart point, I'm going to come out by 1.5 inches. And if you want 1 inch, so here it is. So I'll choose which is better. This is for the 1 inch line and this is for the 1.5 inches. If I'm maintaining my 1.5 inches, so that means 2.5 inches is what I'll be measuring to the aiming part. If I'm going to be using 1 inch, that means I'll measure 3 inches. I want it to come out small, so I'm going to maintain 1.5, then I'll measure 2.5 inches for that. I'm going to move to my back pattern now, so I'm going to be cutting this part off, but I'll put it aside and work on the back. So if you want your measurement to start on the chest line, or you want to go up higher, you want your boobs covered up to your chest line. So since you take ½ inch on both sides, this bust here will be tight. So extend that 1 inch back to your measurement and connect a new armhole. So when you cut it, it won't be short. If the measurement will start on the bust length, that will replace that 1 inch to back to my pattern and blend it back to my waist. So this is my new line. This is my back pattern. Right now I'm marking out my zipper part, so my zipper allowance is 2 inches, but I'll adjust it later. I'll go ahead and label out the chest line, the waist and the hip. Ignore the other 2 lines. Then I'll repeat my shoulder measurement of 7 inches. Then I'll come down by ½ inch for slope. Then I'll connect it to a straight line. Then again I'll take my armhole measurement. My back neckline is 3 by 1.5 inches. Then I'll take 4 inches for bust band from my chest line to my hip and connect the 2 lines together. Then from my hip, I'm going to be coming up by 1.5 inches. For the front, I took 2 inches. Then for my chest line, I'll come down by 1 inch. Then my waist, I'll measure ½ inch on both sides and connect all the points together. At this point, you can decide to take ½ inch from your waist down to the length of your dress too, but I won't mind this way. So next is my circumference. So my bust is 9 inches, then my 1 inch allowance. On my waist, I'll measure 7.5 inches, but before I proceed, I'll need to adjust my zipper first. From my waist, to eliminate the zip bulge, I'll measure ½ inch on this side and connect it all the way to the neck region and measure it up to my hip. My waist is 30. If I divide it by 4, I'll have 7.5 inches. Then I'll replace back my 1 inch darts and this ½ inch and also 1 inch allowance. I hope that's clear. Then for my hip, I'll measure 10 inches, then my 1 inch allowance. So I'll connect all these lines together. I'll repeat my measurement of my hip at my dress length. I'll take my measurement of 11 inches here. I'm going to be taking my zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. So it's going to be starting from my waistline here. Then I'll take my 1 inch zipper to my neckline. So for the back, I don't need the upper part. So my measurement will start on the chest line, just like we have in the picture. So this is my new zipper allowance. Remember, it's an off-shoulder dress. I'll measure 1.5 inches all the way down. When it's time to cut, I'll follow this line. So my new zipper allowance is 1.5 inches. I'm going to be cutting my front pattern first. I'm maintaining this 1.5 inches. I will go ahead and relabel my pattern. Use this side to cut out the back. I'm going to readjust my waist measurement first because I added this ½ inch on my waistline. So I remove it and put it on my fabric. So everything will fall back in line. If I place this together, it's not aligning. So the ½ inch allowance affected it. So it goes to my fabric instead. So I hope you understand. So my waist is 7.5 inches and 1 inch that. Sorry, this is supposed to be ½ inch. Then I replace it, not the 1 inch. So this is the adjusted line and what I need for now. Looking at it now, you can see it falls back to the same line. So I'll use this side to cut out my back. I need to differentiate the size, so this is for the front pattern. The next part is to cut the zipper side and the center back. I'll label my back pattern too. I have both pattern here. Next thing I'm going to do is the slash and spread method. So I'll use the front pattern. So you can measure 1 to 2 inches apart on your pattern. After spacing it, you can go ahead and label it with numbers or alphabets to guide you when placing them. If you want your center front cut in two, once you cut in, it shouldn't be on fold, then you add ½ inch for joining the two together. So I want mine on fold, so this is the only part that will be open. Add ½ inch for the upper side too. So I've added for the side, then you add on your fabric, add 2, then for the back do the same thing, add ½ inch allowance. So I'll cut each part out now. At this point, I want to thank you guys for 200 subscribers. I really appreciate you all. Thank you. Spread the paper on your fabric. So this part will be on fold. So this side front will be here and to be on fold. So it won't have any joining. So how much volume you want depends on the paper spread you can do. So you can do 5 inches apart, 4, 3 inches. Assume this is your fabric. Let me just illustrate. Though this is going to have part 2, I don't want this video too long. So when joining, make sure this part here aligns properly and they're on the same line. So no side is out of place. So I said earlier, joining at the side. So start arranging from the highest number in this manner, 6, 5, 4, 3. Why we need to label this. So 2 will follow, then 1. Then you join by ½ inch to the upper part. Then for your spacing, that depends on how much fabric you have. If you have enough fabric, for a medium size you can use 3 to 4 yards, for a plus size 5 yards. So space by 3 inches or more. I'll measure 3 inches spacing. This lining is the same, so this upper part must rhyme. So this part will be on fold when cutting out your fabric. So the next video will be the sewing part.